A somber throne room lay shrouded in eternal twilight deep within the heart of Mountain Mongrul. The throne itself, a twisted masterpiece of dark craftsmanship, seemed to writhe and twist like a living serpent, its branches snaking outward like grasping fingers. A cloud of ominous, dark fumes swirled slowly and steadily on its seat, casting an aura of foreboding. In a distant city, Mython, 9 noble-looking figures sat for council in a great marble hall. Their slender, pointed ears peeked out from beneath their flowing locks. Unadorned, save for the silver and gold circlets that crowned their heads, their ethereal beauty shone like stars in the night sky. These were elves, and the elders of Elvador's 9 branches. Lord Bilm, the Grand Elder, held sway over them all. As the bearer of the white light, he carried a staff adorned with a crystal-clear stone at its peak, and its facets glinted like a beacon in the darkness. Clad in radiant white robes that flowed like moonlight around his feet, his long white beard rested upon his lap, while his snowy hair cascaded down his back like a river of starlight. Seated at the forefront, he presided over the council with grace, his solemn gaze sweeping across the assembly. "For what reason are we gathered up all here today, Grand Elder?" Lord Onstruck inquired, his gray eyes gleaming with a hint of apprehension. The dark-skinned elf elder's silver dreadlocks cascaded down his back like a river of moonlight, and his silver attire seemed to shimmer in the light. The Grand Elder's expression turned grim, his voice heavy with foreboding as he announced, "The shadow has returned, stirring once more in the far north." A collective dread fell upon the elf elders, their faces etched with concern. Lord Namel, clad in emerald robes glistening like a verdant valley after a faint morning shower, his dark hair braided with precision and his green eyes sparkling with curiosity, spoke up. "How can this be? We vanquished him, and we all bore witness to his demise. How has he returned?" The Grand Elder's eyes seemed to cloud, and his voice laced with sorrow declared, "That's what he made us believe, that we destroyed him. But he fooled us all. Deception has always been his game. He's been concealing in the shadows, allowing himself to grow in strength. His malice is so great that it gives him a strength hardly believed in anyone, however powerful. And when he's grown so much in strength again, he'll surely push through with his will to conquer all life in both Nilm and the human world, the doom that we must deem. How then shall we do that, if our collective strength and wisdom proved insufficient to destroy him?" Lady Delea said, her voice tinged with worry and her bright blue eyes gleaming with desperation. She was the sole female elf elder. Her presence was a beacon of grace and elegance, her very pale hair and snow-white skin radiating an ethereal beauty. No match for Xaden's might. If he has returned, he will surely be more formidable than ever, and we will stand little chance against him," Lord Luxor declared, his golden hair and blue eyes gleaming in the light. Beside him, Lord Eladin, his identical twin, nodded in solemn agreement, their matching features a testament to their shared heritage. While Lord Luxor wore blue robes, Lord Eladin's attire was a deep maroon, a subtle distinction between the two. The Grand Elder's expression turned contemplative, his eyes clouding in thought as he pondered the weight of their predicament. Finally, he spoke, his voice measured and deliberate. "Then we must seek out one whose power surpasses Xaden's." He paused, his gaze sweeping the assembly, drawing all eyes to him. The true child of Nilm. The room seemed to hold its breath as he continued. "Legend has it that the great Ningros left behind the maps of Nasur, which would lead us to the last keeper. And it is said that this keeper would reveal the true child of Nilm, the successor to Ningros's mighty powers, and the only one capable of vanquishing Xaden, the Dark Lord, once and for all." the Grand Elder's eyes gleamed with determination. Thus, to seek an end to this menace, we find the maps of Ensur, or their last keeper, and through them, the true child of Nilm. Only then can we shut out the darkness forever that threatens to consume our world. The Grand Elder's words sparked a ripple of concern among the other elf elders, their faces reflecting the gravity of the situation. Lord Artha, with his golden hair and piercing green eyes, his gold attire gleaming in the light, exchanged a somber glance with Lord Balaam, whose dark skin and braided hair seemed to radiate a sense of wisdom, his brown eyes filled with a deep understanding. With his brown hair and eyes, his black robes a stark contrast to the others, nodded solemnly, his expression a mask of determination. 7 years later, in a world reminiscent of our own, a boy named Adam slumbered in his small bed, swathed in a dull gray woolen blanket. The early 90s sunlight beams filtered through the window, casting a warm glow on his tranquil form. Suddenly, a shrill voice pierced the air, shattering the serenity. "Adam!" it called out, growing louder and more insistent, its sharp tone cutting through the silence like a knife. "Adam!" The voice cracked with urgency. Adam's eyes snapped open, and he sat up with a start, his dark curly hair tousled from sleep. Ms. Boland's voice served as his alarm clock every morning, and he knew better than to ignore it. Adam yawned, revealing a sleepy face framed by a big square head atop a small, wiry body. After a brief moment of stillness, he swung his legs over the side of the bed and shuffled to the window, rubbing the sleep from his eyes. He drew back the curtains, flooding the room with warm light. His baggy pajamas flapping around his legs, he then shuffled out into the hallway and closed the door behind him.